Hey there everyone, happy Wednesday. I am King 5 Meteorologist Adam Claibon. Yeah, it's been another dry day. At least we have seen things start to clear out a little bit with our wildfire smoke. And that will continue to be a trend here throughout the night and into more of your day on Thursday. Now we're going to get a second push of that onshore wind. Now that's going to come along with a weak front that will push on through. Some extra clouds to go along with that. But yeah, we are going to decrease the wildfire smoke. Cool things down a little bit too, seeing highs more so into the 60s, so a bit more of a fall-like feel, and that'll lead us on into the upcoming weekend where we are going to start to see some changes. Could be some rain on the way, and we're going to talk about that right now as we could see a pattern shift here. Most of that coming late weekend heading into early next work week. So you can see right there in the next 7-day stretch, does look like it could be fairly wet here across western Washington, especially across the northern half of the Olympic Peninsula and the North Cascades, where it looks like models are suggesting 2+ inches of rain here during the next week. We'll see how that all does shape up and how it comes together, but at least it does look like we do have rain chances. And if you are farther north, closer to that Canadian border, you might see it just a bit earlier. Now, we'll get back into that here in just a second, but I wanted to show you that onshore push that is now beginning to take shape. We are noticing a lot of our wildfire smoke off towards the east now. And that's why you're seeing a lot more of that flow when it comes to our smoke from west to east, especially with the fires, the bigger ones that we have across that side of the state, the lower Sugarloaf fire right there. And going farther east there, you can continue to see that smoke is heading eastward. And even our smaller fire right here, the Bear Gulch fire, which is not quite as, I guess, vigorous when it comes to putting off that smoke. It is all still there. We're still dry, so it's not like we're going to see great conditions out there, but we do start to see winds pick up a little more heading into the day tomorrow, which will cool us down here west of the Cascades, but could lead to maybe some spreading of the fires farther to the east, which we're going to talk about here in a second as well. But check out what it's done for our air quality. Great levels across a lot of western Washington, still dealing with some pretty poor levels as you head farther to the east. Here's your 7-day forecast. Next 2 to 3, maybe even 4 days, all looking to be dry for many of us from Everett southward. North of there could be maybe an isolated chance of some showers or sprinkles as we head on into the next few days, and probably better chances as you head up closer to Clallam County and the San Juans heading on into Friday or Saturday. More on that as we get on into the latter part of this video, but let's show you what's happening out there right now into Clallam County. La Push. Clear skies, beautiful look right there at our Wednesday evening. Port Angeles too, more the same with clear blue skies, nary a hint of that smoke haze in the sky. And in this view right here, our SchoolNet sign in Granite Falls, earlier into the day during the afternoon, it was really hard to pick out where Mount Pilchuck is, and you can definitely see it clearly now as we get ready to head on into the evening. So great news there. And then here in Seattle, we're seeing the sky starting a bit more blue, and well, conditions are still fairly warm out there as we have this summer-like air mass in place. Temperatures currently sitting in the low 70s. We're going to drop down into the low 50s and a lot of 40s out there for early Thursday morning. Here's radar, and you don't really see a whole lot happening. That's because high pressure is just off to our east, and it's still the dominant feature in our forecast. You can see, though, that we do have a lot of clouds off into the Gulf of Alaska, and that moisture is going to be heading closer to us as we head on into more of the day for tomorrow. Now, as far as what that is going to do with the front as it pushes on by, could see, maybe some stronger winds, and that will mean red flag warnings out for the eastern slopes of the Cascades, as those winds will be coming up and over the Cascades and downsloping on that side of the mountains, which is going to be a drying wind, and some of those gusts could get up closer to maybe 40 miles per hour. Could lead to maybe some of those fires that we had over there spreading just a bit more, also leading to low relative humidity. Speaking on that, let's go ahead and take a look. As we head into tomorrow afternoon, you can see about noon, 12 p.m., starting to see those winds picking up around Chelan, around Leavenworth, around Wenatchee, around 15 to 20, 25 miles per hour with some of those gusts. That picks up even more heading on into tomorrow afternoon and early tomorrow evening. Wherever you see some of those purple shadings beginning to pop up, where you can kind of notice them right there, getting closer to Wenatchee, that's where you could have some of those wind gusts, maybe getting up closer to about 40 miles per hour. That's around there, and then Leavenworth as well. That's something that we're really going to monitor here. Now, that all continues as we head on into tomorrow evening as well. First part of tomorrow night, 9 p.m., still hanging with us. And then things do start to quiet down as we head on into Friday with the wind, and won't be nearly as breezy as we head on into that point. Now, what's happening in the skies? Well, little to anything here into the night. We do expect to see an increase in cloud coverage heading into more of Thursday. And it's at that point, too, that we're going to start to introduce a bit more of that humidity back into the atmosphere, really start to dampen things up. Here's our front, and it's going to be a dry one for the most part, but you can see there are some green speckles beginning to pop up here. All that is saying is that Futurecast is picking up on some moisture that's going to be in the atmosphere, and there could be some sprinkles, maybe some patchy areas of mist as we head on into the middle and second half of the day for tomorrow. And then you can see a lot more of that moisture staying off to the north as we head on into Friday and Saturday. Clallam County, maybe northern Jefferson County, and then the San Juans and Whatcom County as well could sneak into Skagit County. But from Snohomish County southward, looks like we're going to keep things dry, and it looks like it won't be until Sunday before we get our higher chances of rain to begin to work their way on in here. Now, with the cool down tomorrow, we're expecting highs to fall back down into more the mid-60s. We'll get back up into the low 70s heading on into Saturday and into Sunday, and then coming back down yet again as we see a little more of that pattern shift. Highs in the mid to lower 60s and calling for a bit more of that rain. And all of that comes along with this area of low pressure that will be sweeping southward out of the Gulf of Alaska. This is Sunday, and you start to see a little more of a north and south orientation to the rain band that you're noticing right there. That's it, and that's going to be heading in first, and that will be probably the leading edge of the more widespread rain. We'll continue to see this area of low pressure, which is this guy right here, get a bit closer and a bit closer and just continue to spin as we head on into Monday and into a lot of the earlier half of next work week, leading to multiple opportunities of seeing rain. So we can get that, and then we can get some of that rain down on top of some of those fires. It'll be great news because it is about time now that we start to get into more of a fall-like pattern to kind of help that out. As far as tonight, though, things are clear, they're quiet, and they're kind of chilly, too. A lot of 40s out yet again as you head out into early Thursday morning. Some low 50s here, like in Bellingham and in Seattle. Then you'll see high temperatures tomorrow, topping off at about 61 in Bellingham. Blaine up to 59. Lower 60s around Arlington. Looks like Oak Harbor, we're only topping off at 57 degrees. 61 in Clinton, 64 in Monroe. We'll sit into the lower 60s around Kingston, Paulsville, Bainbridge Island, Bremerton, mid-60s around Renton and Issaquah and Maple Valley, and see a high of 67 in Puyallup, 67 as well as into Olympia. All the way south, closer to the Oregon state line, upper 60s down there, probably seeing a 70 degree or two. Otherwise, though, looks like 60s will be more the norm across this side of the mountains, even 50s as you head farther north around Nia Bay, only topping off at 58 degrees. All right, here's your 7-day forecast. It's going to be a cooler one tomorrow. Expect to see some additional cloud coverage, even though there won't be as much of that smoke haze in the skies. And we'll see things kind of continue on this cooler trend. A lot more 60s ahead for us as far as high temperatures. And for the most part, yeah, it looks like we're dry, especially if you're south of Everett, but there are multiple chances of rain on the way as we head on to early next work week. So we are going to start to see that pick up here in the forecast. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you had a wonderful Wednesday. Have a tremendous Thursday, too, as you get ready to head out early tomorrow morning. We'll talk to you soon.